Adobe Community Hotline. Call 561 My Adobe. That's 561 692 3623 with your comments, concerns, and creative collaboration requests. You asked, and we answer. Adobe Community Hotline.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Adobe Office Hours. I didn't give Nick any heads up because I was running the hotline. Call the hotline, 561 My Adobe. You can call the hotline and let us know what you are up to. If you have ideas, thoughts, product requests, any of that, call into the hotline and let us know. Today's going to be a fun show. Hi, Nick.
Yeah. What's going on, Andrew?
Nick, we are kind of twinsies.
Oh, you got crop. Oh, look at that.
I got my mug, and you got your t-shirt. There we go.
It's a big crop
Screenshot
day.
that for Matt. Big crop day.
Yes.
Welcome back to Office Hours, everybody. I'm Andrew Hawkrattle.
I'm Nick Longo.
And today we are going to do a version of Show and Tell called Show and Sell. And we're going to be taking you through the behind the scenes on process of clients that we have worked with. And how those processes have gone, what we delivered, what we've upsold, what we've changed, how we've kind of managed projects. And it's going to be a little bit of a different show. Nick, how's today going to be different than what we usually do?
Yeah, we're going to take our turns, go nice and slow, show you through the process. I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I want to show some things I think I would have done with this project if I had some of the latest and greatest things that Adobe Firefly has.
Yes, I'm going to do that as well. Show a little bit in boards of what I could have added. Chat, we are doing a little bit of a half and half episode today. So I'm going to be taking the first half. Nick is going to be showing the second half. If you don't want to listen to me, you can just tune back in about 30 minutes. And if you don't want to listen to Nick, then you can just tune out halfway through. Pick your poison.
Now.
Pick your poison. But the reason that I'm dropping off, chat, I don't know if I can actually tell you, but let's just say that you should be on the lookout on Adobe Live this Sunday, around like 5 p.m. Pacific time. There's something very big happening, and it might involve an apple, and maybe we'll be pouring some concrete in the jungle where dreams are made of. Some secrets, just dropping some clues for you there. Special Adobe Live happening this Sunday.
Has it never happened on a Sunday?
It's never happened on a Sunday before, and there is a good reason.
All right.
Chat, I wish I could tell you. Chat, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out during the show if I'm allowed to tell you or not.
If not, please put it in Slack so at least I know.
100%. Oh, I think you already know. I think we talked about it. I'll remind you in Slack. Okay, so tune in. Make sure that you keep your eyes out for what is happening this Sunday, May 10th. Very, very big day for Adobe Live. Going live from a very special location. A very special location.
Oh, yes.
Some would say the center of the universe.
Yes,
so
the apple of your eye. Maybe?
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and just whisper it and no one will know.
Would it be square or circle?
It would be, if you're talking of different shapes, it would definitely be more in the four-sided shape category.
Yes, without saying it.
Yep. Yeah. A four-sided apple shape. Yes. Yep. That's as much as we can get, chat. I'm gonna get in trouble. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So let's go ahead and hop in to what we're talking about today, and that is our show and sell. We're gonna be going through projects that we've worked on and taking you through the process. And as a little preview, Nick, what are you going to be talking about?
Ooh, I'm gonna take you on a culinary journey into the world of East Meets Young, a incredible little hot sauce brand that we created last year. And as soon as you mentioned what we were going to be doing here, it was the first one I had in mind, because it's just, I love these little niche brands that you can work with and take them to huge levels. And I'll even show you where it ended up. So I'm excited. What are you showing
I will be showing a project that I worked on with none other than Emily Poulin. If some of you all have seen Emily here on Adobe Live, we worked on this project a long time ago, and it is called Houseplant University. It is a branding project for an online university about how to take care of your houseplants. So we're going to be going through emails. We're going to be going through pitch decks. We're going to be going through the concepts that didn't make it, and then also taking you through maybe some of the assets that we created as well. So I'll go ahead and hop in and tell the story of what happened with Houseplant University. This is a good one, chat. So we get the question a lot.
A little
how do you
back in time thing.
So you get the question a lot. How do people find you? This one came in from social media. They'd seen some stuff that I'd posted on social media. We're both in the same area here in Riverside. And they had seen the work that I had done online, reached out, and they wanted to start a project. And so the first thing that I got was somewhat of a client brief. This was the initial email that came in here. And it says, hey, we're creating a new, yet announced, so secrets, online houseplant care course, community, Houseplant University, where we need branding, but we have a few constraints. The site we're hosting the courses on gives us very little control in terms of backend access. We only have the ability to change fonts and place a logo in a circle at the top left corner and choose 2 colors to be applied to the site. Right? So this is a great example of show and sell. The client came to us and they were like, hey, we just need a little logo. We need to change 2 fonts and we need 2 colors. Can you do this for us? And so for me, I wanted to make sure that we got the full package and got them exactly what they needed, so they were set up for success. These people are like generically creative. They understand Creative Cloud a little bit. So I didn't feel like I needed to necessarily do everything for them, but I wanted to upsell some services on trying to build some templates and to try to do some more work for them, right? And so for the pay for this, we actually decided that we were going to do a trade. Chat, if you don't do trade services, you're missing out. Trading services, you can do work for something. And out of this project, I got a risograph printer. So I got a risograph printer out of this project, which is awesome. I've done a couple little prints here and there. I love having it as just a little hobby thing. But they said, we only need a few colors. We need a few fonts and we need a logo. And I said, great, here's what my starting branding package looks like. And so I said, hey, we're going to do a look and feel, a logo mark, a typographic system, a visual language assets. This is something that I like to put in there, and I'll show you what that is. And that's just graphic elements and a visual identity. That is kind of building out not just a logo and fonts for them. It's really building out what their language. You do this really well too. That like you build out. I think
everyone's really adopted this so well. You know?
Yep.
Good. I love that.
We talked about a brand standards booklet, color systems, social media templates, and stationery templates. Now, you can see already that we've gone from a few things that they wanted to upselling now to this like full package of things. And I said, since you're familiar with design programs, I'll actually build InDesign templates for social media needs, as well as a Creative Cloud library that you can use in the future with paragraph styles, colors, visual assets, and logo applications. So this allowed them to feel like they're getting a lot of value for what we are trading. I need coffee to power me, chat. And so pitched them on, hey, let's do all of these things. And they said, hey, that's great. This is exactly what we need. The templates are awesome. The library is great. It would be really cool to be able to like work in Creative Cloud. If you have a client that is familiar with Creative Cloud or is going to be working with Creative Cloud, don't just pass off InDesign file, or don't just pass off like an AI file or logos or EPSs or whatever. Make them a Creative Cloud library. Build out a brand in Express for them. Build out some templates for them. It's so much better to deliver that kind of stuff for them. So from there, we moved on and we started working on some different directions. So I started working on one, and our friend Emily started working on one. And I'm going to take you to mine first. And the first one that we started on, we had 2 ideas. And chat, this is how I like to position my ideas when I'm pitching them, is I love to create a theme and name each of the concepts, especially if I'm doing multiple concepts. I wanted to have a theme. Usually I just present one concept and say, this is the one. But with Houseplant University, I felt like there was a couple different ways that we could go. And so the first one was a concept that we presented, and this was called Exam Week. This one was collegiate, but in a very like refined kind of way. We didn't want it to be like fun collegiate. We wanted it to be interesting. We wanted it to be like professional. We wanted it to feel high end and expensive for your houseplants. And so this one was Houseplant University, right? So we made this logo. It's got the little book in there. It's got the bud coming out of the book. It has like this crest that you would see. And I love this tag, the know-how to grow now.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
If that doesn't shout Andrew copyright.
Oh, 100%.
Right there. How did you
100%.
guys work? How did you guys set yourselves up to work on this? Did you work independently? Did you work together?
Yeah, so
how did that go?
We worked together. Basically, we had the two concepts. I felt like I was more... so the client came in. I kind of came up with the ideas. I felt like I was more keen on the professional version of the Exam Week. The other one is Spirit Week. So we did Spirit Week and Exam Week as the two pitches. And I felt like the Spirit Week was so much more fitting for Emily that I wanted her to take it. And so I was like, here's the idea. Here's the vibe. Here's what we're trying to go for. We created some mood boards and sent them over, and then let Emily kind of work in tandem with me.
Love that.
And so with that, when you're pitching, don't just pitch the logo. We didn't just show like, hey, here's the logo, done. I wanted to make sure that we showed how this could scale. And so we created all these different versions, right? So we have this, and I think Nativius something about the knowledge of growing or something. So we wanted to go in like really, really hard on this collegiate idea, make a crest. And if, you know what, we're just going to do this right now. If it was now, this would 100% be like a bronze seal.
Oh,
right.
Wow. Easily.
Right. And so hold on,
or like you can even do like dirt, like embossed, you know?
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Terracotta.
Yep.
Terracotta.
And so we're going to I'm just going to paste this in here, and then we are going to edit this with Nano Banana, and I'm going to say, recreate this logo as if it was a bronze seal in the ground of a university. And let's do top-down view. And let's say surrounded by brick and soil with plant vines.
Nice.
So again, this is something that like, this is great, and it's awesome to pitch the idea and say like, hey, here's the logo, and then also here's how it scales. But we definitely want to also like take that to the next level. We can now with Firefly, which is great. So we did two versions of this. We did the positive and the negative. We also did a little like shortened version of the HPU. And then we did a smaller version. Here's the thing, chat. If I blew up this smaller version to this bigger version, it would not be the same line weight. If you are working and you are creating things at a smaller size, the line weight sometimes needs to change. So we want to make sure that we presented all these different variations to them, some different color themes down here that they could kind of choose from. And then here's an example of how that could implement itself. Growing knowledge with your plants. Again, amazing copywriting. I think Emily actually wrote this one. But we're upselling again, right? They just said, hey, we want a logo, we want some colors, and we want some type. And I'm saying we're doing type systems, we're doing social media images, we're doing colors, we're doing logos, we're doing copywriting.
Was there pushback at all?
Right? What? No.
Was there pushback? And or because it's like it's how you explain the full package that you can present, right?
Yep.
And
100%.
that value. How could they say no?
Yep.
Right?
And chat, I'm gonna look this up real quick, and I'm literally going to just tell you what they said when I said, hey, what if we did all these things instead? Here we go. Okay.
It always helps.
They said this. I just don't want to like leak anyone's numbers or anything. Okay. So I'm like, here you go. Here's the thing. And they said, fantastic. We'd love to move forward with the branding. We're so excited.
I'm sure you gave it that.
Yeah. They were just like, yeah, this is great.
I think the best way to do it, guys, is like show the investment. If you're already there and working together, why not do it together? Show them how you can bundle it in some way.
Yep.
Rather than doing it in pieces, because it's like if they're launching a brand and they're putting their heart and soul into it, doesn't it deserve this attention?
Yep.
You know,
100%. Yep.
Yeah,
And then they just
that's
literally
great.
said, "What are the next steps? Let's get moving." I said, "Great. Let's set up a time." We started having a meeting, and then from there, we went into it. And I actually recorded a video that I don't have access to, which stinks, for the initial pitch.
Oh, no.
But we'll go back through, and I'll show you where else we went. And a question. Somebody says, "Firefly newbie here. Are partner models in Adobe safe for commercial use?" I do know that Firefly is cleared for commercial use. I
Yes.
don't think that commercial or that a lot of our partner models are. You'd have to check with their terms of service for whatever partner model you are using.
Great to use for brainstorming.
That's great to use for brainstorming.
Yeah.
So we went through, we pitched these ideas, and then we also pitched the other idea. And this was the second one that was just Spirit Week. And Spirit Week is the one that ended up winning out. I think that, like, as we were working on it, I was like, yours is better. Like, this is the one we need to be going with. Spirit Week, so much more fun. For Houseplant University, we wanted to go for this like very collegiate, almost like girly pop in the 2000s, freshman year, like just getting started, and created all of this stuff. Now, these are very much just sketches, and you can kind of see that over here on the right. These are very like rough, open sketches, and the idea is that we just wanted to pitch the ideas. So grow with your plants. I don't think we can have better copywriting here.
Yeah. It almost writes itself.
It's so great. We did little pennants down here. We had all kinds of different elements. And then we had this like one pager, "Let's go grow." How great is that, right? You're at a pep rally. Let's go grow.
It feels like good stuff you'd see on like a community billboard or bulletin board in a fraternity or sorority.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
And really leading into that, go people, go plants, right? Like, we were trying to create this like world. And so this ended up being the idea that won out. And we sent it over to them, and they actually had their feedback. Let me see if I have the feedback in our thing right here. Yes. So the feedback came back, and they said, "We have a problem. We love both directions. You guys are too good."
Oh, no.
Right? We've been rating pros and cons all weekend, and we're still not sure which one we want. The biggest roadblock is because most of the product this brand will be selling is me in videos. We're having a tough time putting together a look for me, clothing-wise. This feels organic to my personality with the Monsters University direction. That's the Spirit Week. The other feels a lot more like me, but I love the Monsters University because we can have such a strong community aspect to it.
I got
So is there any way that you guys could flesh this out a little bit more? And we're going to keep putting together some mood boards and a clothing look for me if you have any suggestions for that as well, right? And so this is where we then take it to a yes and, right? This is where we start to upsell. And I say, great. We're already having a great working relationship. It's going to be super fun. And so we go back and we started playing around with if we want to try to match you with these two different versions to help you decide what you're going to do and how you're going to look in the videos and what you're going to wear. Our job is to tell your story, and we're going to do that. And so we sent over pitches of outfits.
Nice.
This is one of the funnest things that I've done. So this
I thought it said Valley Girl.
Valley Girl. This one is from the Spirit Week, right? That it's like, hey, here is the sweater. Here are some bangles. We've got earrings. We have the look. And then if you decide that you want to go with the more collegiate kind of exam week, here's something that is more the prep professor, right? And so this is something that I love doing in branding projects, is just doing that upsell, but not as an upsell, right? Finding ways to kind of surprise and delight your clients in the way that you work and communicate with them.
You can almost add this as, even if there's not a key person that's going to have to wear wardrobe, what would the brand dress like?
Yes.
If it was a person?
100%.
I think that can help sell your, maybe that might even help them decide. Did this help them decide? I'm assuming
it did. It did help them decide. And I think that that is the thing, is when you are looking to upsell, when you are looking to kind of push a project through, listen to your clients and hear what they're saying. They're like, oh, we love this so much. We're really thinking about what we're wearing in the video, right? And so I'm listening and thinking, oh, you are so close to picking a direction, but you're kind of stuck in seeing yourself on camera. So let's show you on camera. And you know what we could do now is we could take that outfit, take a picture of her, and then use Firefly to put her in the outfit, which would be so rad to be like, hey, here's actually what you would look like if you were, doing the videos.
That reminds me, we did this last night in class. A girl's doing this thing on paper doll, kind of inspired things. You could have had your client with the outfit look like the paper doll cutout from like the old board game.
100%.
And then have her completely dressed in that outfit. And what a confidence boost that would be to show.
Yep.
Right.
And we have somebody in Alexandria in the chat saying, ooh, taking notes. Looks cute. Hi, Alexandria. I don't know if we've seen you before. If you watched before, we're so sorry.
She's a former student of mine.
A former student. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Alexandria. Welcome to the show. Thanks for watching Office Hours. Chat. Imagine if my regular little like slide that's just color and logo looked like this.
Okay, if you're not using Firefly for this exact thing, you're missing out. Because like this brings something you can never find the mockup or the PSD mockup that's gonna replicate this, right?
Yep.
This is so nice, dude.
And again, like doing this as a means to pitch your clients and to get that idea sold and have them like really sign off on the idea. This is like all that I wanted to pitch them on. And this was the idea in my head.
Man.
And again, like if you're trying to pitch your client, Firefly Boards is the place to be making your client pitches. Like it's so good.
That's great.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, no, you don't get to see that yet. Secrets.
Oh.
So, so we made them the outfits, and then they decided that they were going to be going with the Spirit Week. And so what we did is we wanted to build out a visual system for them. And so I had Emily get started on building out a series of illustrations. I knew that this wasn't going to be contingent on the logo, that it really was going to be somewhere that was a broad system that lived across social media and in-person events, and they had the videos that they were going to be doing. And so I wanted to make sure that we had like the world built out. And so I worked with Emily and created a series of illustrations that we turned into little stickers. These are so fun. And so we created all of these illustrations that we used as stickers with the brand. We made sure that they all had a cohesive color scheme. We made sure that they all had that outlining, the drop shadow, and we actually exported these as PNGs with the drop shadow so that wherever they used them, they were able to just put them on top of things.
And it looked like an instant sticker.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
We also took these and brought them into a Illustrator Creative Cloud library, and they have a library. And so anytime that they're working and they wanted to put an element on, they could just very easily drop that element in. You can see we have those little shadows already there. And so as they kind of work with their brand, they were able to put in little stickers and very quickly and easily make their graphics or whatever they're working on into very on-brand materials.
Yeah. Anything you can make the client's life a little easier and they can feel like they're in part of the design.
Yep.
With doing something this easy is so nice.
100%. So we came out with all of these, and then we go to the final pitch. And this is really the final presentation. Is we started here. And I like to start with an overview of the brand, right? This kind of big wow of the brand. And if you can see here, it actually evolved a bit from where we were here. Right?
It really spruced up.
It did. Oh, nice. Nice. Yes. I feel like we really grew with this brand. So like we had some of the ideas here that we were looking at pitching the client, right? Getting them to sign off on the ideas. And I think that this step we can almost skip now because we have Firefly to like render these out. Like, I don't think we need to show these sketches. We could have gotten to a more high fidelity much quicker to present to the client, but you can see the glow up from here to here, right? Much, much, much more refined. We created these patterns in the background, the know-how to grow now. I think it's a great go people, go plants. Let's go grow. And so created what the social media images could look like, created the logo seals, all that stuff. Show them all the stickers, and then we also came in with all their colors. So I actually love presenting color this way, and this shows the dominance of each color in the palette.
Yeah.
So I want to show we have
obviously the accents look
Yep.
great.
We have a lot of green. We're also popping in a lot of yellow and orange accents with a little bit of these pinks and blues to just add it a little bit extra fun. We also built out all of the type hierarchy. So we're using a bunch of different, we're using 3 different fonts here. Heading, subhead, call out, and body copy. And then we also presented them with a bunch of patterns. And these were pattern squatches that we made and put into their Creative Cloud library so that they can use these patterns within their branding, right? And we wanted this, like, again, we're in like collegiate, like we're going to a school in 2000 that was built in 1952 and it like got remodeled in the 70s. Like that was the vibe that we wanted to get. So we made all these patterns for them and passed this off as kind of a whole piece for them to build out their brand. And so that's how we created and upsold the Houseplant University brand.
I love it.
Thank you.
I feel like I've learned a little bit too. Like I feel like you've cultivated something so great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Cultivate's one of my favorite words. If I could drop it into any like pitch or, comment, it works every time.
I had a client that was, their brand was Cultivate, and it was traumatic. So it is not one of my favorite words.
Oh, no, sorry. We will rewind.
Just don't put it in a pitch with me.
Harvest.
And we're good.
Harvest.
Okay, I miss doing this. This project was so long ago, but it was so much fun. I need to do.
It's really great.
I need a branding project. Nick, let's do a branding project together.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's hop over and talk with Nick. Chat.
All right.
Also, hi, chat. Nice to see you here. If you have any requests for the show, please let us know. In chat, here's what I'm going to promise you. I am dropping off early because I have a very important meeting about the secret that is happening in the place with the stuff that I don't know if I can tell you about. The first thing in this meeting, I'm going to ask them if I can tell you, and I will come back onto the show and tell you what is happening if we can talk about it before it's happening. But I'm going to drop off in like 2 minutes for Nick to take over. Nick, give us an overview. What are you going to be presenting today? What is your client? What are we going to talk about?
Yay. All right. Everybody East meets Young. This was a client that came to me last year, and it was through the connections of a previous client. They had a team member that was going from different team to different team, was on this new team that was creating a line of Asian-inspired hot sauces. And what I loved about this was food, yes. Like unique opportunity, yes. And then something a little challenging and a little bit different. Absolutely, yes. I love these ones that allow you to truly kind of like venture off and do something really fun. And they really left the control in my hands, and we just walked them along the way, held their hand like we always say. So here's a little bit of the background. It's a food brand that reintroduces traditional Asian flavors to the Western world and younger generations. So these are kind of right from our brand deck. Here's our mission. It was basically bridging the gap between Eastern and Western cuisines through bold, unforgettable flavors. And they had created this signature peanut sauce that was just so incredibly amazing, and got to try it even prior to signing up with this. And I was just hooked and knew that this would be something really fun to mess around with. So we came up with some brand values. Obviously, very important to have things like this really registered before you even do anything, first sketch, whatever. We had authenticity, innovation, quality, community, and fun and vibrancy. We were really inspired by what we were seeing out there in the marketplace.
Just know as you're reading those, all that I could think of, can you go back to that list?
Yeah.
All that I was thinking was
this one here.
Was you presenting the key brand values, but it's just like a fading video, and it's you just like authenticity, innovation,
yes, exactly.
Quality. That's every time I see a list of brand values, all that I can think is Nicole Kidman just like reading a voiceover of words as they fly across the screen.
I love it. As she's sitting in the theater.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be, you can recreate that. You could wouldn't that be a great pun for that? Like to do your presentation.
That'd be so funny.
Firefly video. I love it.
All right, chat. I'm dropping off.
All right.
To go to this meeting. I promise I will bring you back all the secrets once I can. And I'll be back by the end of the show. So goodbye, everybody.
We'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Don't leave us hanging.
I won't.
All right, guys. So this was our mood board. I love this because it got us to think of some new and unique things. I loved the different versions of animation, type, and this was really one of the best examples of where I think my mood board and the collection that myself and the client put together really came through all of the concepts. So we even came up with some taglines from the very beginning. I loved this bold flavors and new traditions. I love anything that feels like a little bit of a yin and yang, and this was the one that really stood out the most. And then even some copy, because I wanted to make sure this was signed off by them before we spent the time on the bottle design and everything. We went really rapid fire on this. It's the first time I think we went right into packaging and branding kind of combined. I think most of the time I like to make sure we do those in phases. And so for this one, we really had some fun and went off and just had a blast. So this was my first kind of pass at what I was visualizing. We knew we wanted a mascot. We knew we wanted a really unique lockup that felt like kind of a puzzle piece. I like these two ideas here that we had for the East meets Young. And then we had this idea of Bao Bao. He's kind of like this little traveling toddler that explores all these different cuisines and comes back with his recommendations and what he's found on his journeys. So here's just some pencil sketches. I like this too because this is where I can put a lot of the copy, the bold flavors, new traditions. We came up with this tasty travels, no passport required. Wanted to really give the feeling of travel and kind of like going on a mission. So these were the first few things that we came up with. I wanted black and white only, first ones that were done. And I really just wanted to see what was working great. And I loved all of these. I think my least favorite was maybe this bottom left one, because again, you want this combination of the feeling and the emotion and the personality from the fonts and I think the storytelling you're doing here, but you do want it to be easily readable. So here's where I had a little bit of a like kind of like I don't think we even presented this one because I didn't want this to be chosen because it had the most cultural relevance. I wanted it to definitely be readable and completely there. So these three were kind of where we were. And then this was very similar to what Andrew had showed, kind of our first approach. And what I like to do is we did these in 2 rounds. We had option 1 and option 2. They had names. We really kind of gave them storytelling the same way you saw what Andrew had done with his example. But here I wanted to show what a system would look like for each one and some different colorways. If I show 2 here, that shows flexibility and it shows that we're not set just yet on which color option to go with. So I love showing them different color options, and that way they're really just looking at the design overall. What I loved about this one was the way it stacked on the bottle. This was the first time we had a bottle choice as well. And what we had here was like these little things peeking through the side, and I really love that idea. The second one was a little bit different, but still based on all the same structure and the same pillars. But it really did have a different take. I felt like this one maybe had a little bit more rustic, a little bit more raw edges. You can see when you zoom into particularly this hand lettering, it definitely had some inconsistencies and everything. But I love this play off of bold fonts and then like handwritten as well. Our little guy here, I was really torn between which one we liked. We had this one here, which was a little bit more inspired by some of the ones that were on our mood board. But then we had this guy, and he was a little more cuter, a little younger, but then that was an issue. We thought, oh, maybe this is too young for our traveling toddler. So we went through a few rounds of revisions, and where we ended up, I had to show this because this was the bottle design that we made in Illustrator. We couldn't find a mock-up that was exactly the one that our client got from the vendor. And so literally this was a piece that we made. I think Andrew and I have shown this to you guys a few times on office hours. I just took the outline of it. We turned it into a 3D rotate in Illustrator. And then that was now sent to Dimension as an OBJ. And we had our 3D model for the bottle. But let's go a little bit into where we got into our guy here. So we revised him a few times. You can see we had him here on the left. That was the first round. The second round, he was getting a little bit more youthful, a little bit more athletic, a little bit more adventurous. And it really kind of started a new process of where we were going with our guy here. And so that led us to these here, which became kind of the middle ground for our brand. But it was really coming together. I loved this lockup. I've never really done anything that had this kind of like square with the arc on the top. And I really thought this worked great here. We were exploring colors again, but here's where a lot of communication happened between myself and the clients to make sure we were there. And they wanted to experiment with one round where the colors got a little bit bright and vivid. We went to the store. They're in New York, I'm in Los Angeles. So we took pictures of shelving everywhere just to see what our competition was like. And we were realizing that these bright colors, particularly yellow, was not in that zone. But then we were trying unique ones like here. We have our magentas, the red. We have the cool colors here, which was like this cool blue, and that really light pink here. And this got us into thinking that we could really do this in a much simpler way, and even if we use gradients. So we were trying to use gradients to see how that would work, because now we had two SKUs. We had the regular and we had the spicy. And then that made me start thinking about how would this line look work if we had two, and should one be the original, kind of call it the OG, and then that spicy one, how do we address that with it? So what we did here, I'll go back here, was we even invented Bao Bao completely again. So you can see we went from the one on the left to the one on the right. And when this one on the right was complete, I instantly knew this was everything. We gave him different shoes. We gave him a little trimmer body. We definitely refined the head and the eyes a little bit. And the idea of having the cap meant we could obviously do some merch down the road here as well. So we had our little EMY as the little monogram. But what I love about here was I really wanted to communicate to the client why we were doing this. And you notice here I said, your comments got me thinking we can refine the character even more. So this was something they were fine with, the one on the left. I started showing it to a lot of my designer friends and folks that I really trust their opinion on. And they gave me some comments that we could try a few things more. We made it more agile and more active. We refined the proportions and the expression a little bit, and we improved the details, the hands, the feet, the backpack. They're more clearly defined. And this gave us a much better way to not only like one up it, but they weren't asking for this. And when they saw the new one, I think it was the thing that just kind of sealed the deal. They were incredibly happy with where it came. And then we built out the entire labels. So here's what the labels kind of look like. Again, we kept it very simple and clean. You want to make sure if you're doing anything on a bottle or on a cylinder, you always make sure you can print these things out, and hopefully you have a sample. If you don't have a sample, find something just close to the same diameter. And that way you can wrap it around and see how everything works. So we were really like purposeful to make sure that everything there in the middle showed on the front of the bottle, and then those things on the side became sides, and then the two panels on the right and left joined together in the back and created the back side of this. So it was really well balanced. They wanted to make sure we tried a few different things here where we had the try these on. We suggested what this might work with and everything. And here's the final bottle. You can see it here. This is our original peanut sauce. I really loved some of these font choices that we found. Again, I wanted something that was culturally appropriate, but I also wanted something new and unique, but it had to be readable. And this font here just turned out to be one of the perfect association fonts for the brand. And they've even used it on the website and all different things. And here is the spicy one. So the spicy one was really cool because here we kept the same yellow, and all we did was we added the gradient to this. So we're future-proofing our product line, that when there's anything else down the road that would actually be needed here, another flavor, another expansion, does it go to something extreme? We can have fun with the gradients when need be. But again, I think this one really came out so nice. Here was kind of the final one there, which was great to mess around with. What we did here was I want to show you guys kind of where it all wound up. So we had some fun doing some socials. These were the first rounds that we created for them. I always think in advance when I'm kind of wrapping up the project and we're at this point where we're making some visuals, This is taking the bottle and turning it into, I believe the one on the right was done in Dimension. The one in the middle was Dimension, but then we used Firefly for the backgrounds. I'm already kind of thinking of what to create for social media. So when we're handing over everything, they've got a few things to use right away, rather than them saying, hey, we'd love to get into some social media assets. We're about ready to launch. So for me, it was really fun to show these things in advance, and then they can say, oh, we've already got a few things to go with. Then they added the demand for so much more, because once they started putting these on social, of course they needed more and they needed different versions of it. So I love these versions where, again, this one here, the spicy one, it really helped out to mess around with Adobe Firefly and make sure we were getting something really fun and really fiery. And the way it brought in all the different ingredients to the bottom was just unbelievable. So this was really the best part of the entire thing. When they launched the brand, I just happened to be in New York the same day that they were launching the brand at a street festival in Brooklyn. And so I sent, again, they had a style guide, they had everything ready to go. And the team themselves put this tent together, and all of the stuff you see here, the fun little food displays, they built all this stuff by hand. I thought was really great. And this was the first time I actually met the entire team in person. We did this entire thing via email and Zoom. It took about maybe 4 months, I think, in total to get to there. And this was literally the day that I got to meet them and kind of work the booth with them and get to see people's reactions to the brand and everything. And from this point on, it has done so incredibly well to see them successful, launching the career, building their following, and getting into different stores all across the East Coast, and finally getting to that point where they are available online and anyone can order these as well. So again, I'm really proud to see that there's a lot of times where I want to give the client a lot of help. And by giving them a really good style guide that was, excuse me, only a few pages, and it had all the elements saved, kind of how Andrew showed you. They weren't on the Creative Cloud, but what they did have was folders full of EPSs, PNGs, JPEGs, PDFs, SVGs, you name it. They had everything. So when they went to the vendor that had this tent, he obviously asked for all the things that they needed, and they had a folder ready to go, and were able to put this together. And they didn't actually need to kind of use me at that point. And I love giving them that kind of freedom to do that. And I give them brand standards, so it shows how to use these things. They didn't use anything kind of out of place, and I was super happy with how that went as well. And here's kind of the full-blown version of the Firefly shot that we did, which is great. And I know we have some time to kind of mess around with a few more. And then here's the traditional OG one as well. A few of the things I got to do, which I thought really fun, was when Firefly video came out, one of the first things I did was I took our little guy here and basically gave him this and was able to have him animate to a soundtrack, to like kind of the script that we had wrote. And when I sent this to them, and then it even created, we asked for a background first. The background was the street market that you see in the background. And then I took it and placed it over that with the white kind of like border around Bao Bao. And this gave us something really fun to play around with. And they were able to get this really cool video to kind of introduce him on Instagram. And then I think it was a few weeks later, as Firefly was getting better and better with its like offerings, this was something where I had some fun with too, where I brought together this whole little newsletter and actually aged it up. I was going for that Indiana Jones inspired vibe. And again, it just did this really amazing work to kind of just help them out. Everything in here, all the copy down below here, was all made on an LLM to make sure it was like legit and cool. We wrote all the copy for this, and I just didn't want to have like fake copy down here below. I wanted to make sure it was all kind of done here. I think we have some fake ones down here, but this wasn't seen in the full thing. But I love taking that extra step because, you know, these AI tools have been made it so easy to like mess around with and have some fun. So I want to try a few things with Firefly. We're in boards again. Like here's everything we had created. I like this vibe. I'm sure you've seen on Adobe Office Hours here. We've been showing how these are being used. We love using boards for like presenting like this. If I've got a virtual meeting and I've got a lot of boards to show, this idea here with a trackpad It's so easy to move around and show off some of your work. So I want to try something here. This is just the image of the OG, and we have it here, PNG, kind of like on a white background and everything. But I wrote some prompts here that I wanted to try and see how we could do. So I'm going to copy this here, and I'm going to click back on this guy. Now, there's so many different ways now you can approach how to build something in Firefly. You can go right to it, edit. You can go to presets as well, because there's one here that I think was product. Let's see. It's the one with the headphones. Here, product photo. So I'm going to click on this one here. I'll click on the image, and I'll click on our one here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste and see what happens here, and we'll generate that and come back to that and see how it works. So we're trying to do, let's hit presets, generate image. Where is it? Here we go. Oh, it's still building there. I want to see what this would do. I love this idea of having your PNG, whatever, ready to go. Have this on a Firefly board, see what happens, and see what kind of videos or stills you can do. I've got a few that we can try if we have time to create some video versions of it as well. But I love this idea of using the presets. If you're new to Firefly and you want to try something out and it's a little bit more plug and play, the presets really work nicely where it gives you this chance to do something. And then just to show the difference too, what I'm going to do is on this one, maybe we'll do something different. So I'll copy the prompt that I pre-writ. I'm going to take this one here, and I'm just going to say edit with, I'll go with Gemini Nano Banana. So it already has it placed in here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of place the copy here, hit generate. And while that one's going, let's take a look at this one here and see how it looks. We'll place it on the canvas. Oh, wow. Check this out, guys. This looks great. Look at that. So it gave it a nice little star treatment. It's kind of got it floating. You got perfect reflection. I love the way it actually lit the sauce in a way too. It's a little bit transparent on this one. So if you notice, the lighting from the back really, really looks cool here as well. So I'm curious to see how the next one will come out as well. Oh, here it is. Oh, check this one out. Let's see how this one looks. All right. Ooh, I like this little static. Check that out. So we got the dripping sauce. Love that. Look at that fire treatment. I'm kind of digging that. This to me is so much better than like in the past. I've gone and like found bits and pieces of flames, or maybe I even used to create like these flames on like a PNG background and tried photoshopping them in there and didn't find that to work too cool. But this to me, look at that. I love that. All right, before we go, I think we got plenty of time here. I want to try to turn one of these into a video. So I've got this nice big one here. These were the ones we showed off earlier. These are Firefly. So again, we're taking them right from here. And I want to see if we can turn this into a video. So I'm going to select my prompt. We're going to go here and then go to generate video. And let's see, I'm going to get rid of the previous one because this is for the still image. I'll put in the new one and then image. Let's grab that one there. Now, notice it has two. I think in the past we've shown where you can do two images. You can kind of replicate what you want as your first screen, and then you can replicate as what you want for your last screen. And what Firefly will do is kind of like stitch a video in between. But for now, I just want to see what would happen here from just our prompt and just that beginning stage as well. We could do two of them where we can do these together. So let's say we want to do, I'm going to do this. What if we did our regular OG flavor? I'm going to bring this down here. And meanwhile, keep in mind all of our other stuff still generating. And what I want it to do is I want it to transform into the hot sauce one. So let's put that there. Let's see, how are we doing on images? Are we all good on images? Yep. And then how are we doing on video? Let's see. Cool. It's still doing it there. So let's do this. We're going to do these two as well. So I'm going to hit generate video. We'll get rid of this because we don't need it. And we'll get rid of these two that were already here because now I want to do this. So we're going to start with this one, and then we want to end with that one. So here's what we'll do. We'll say create a video that transforms the original yellow bottle and ignites in flames and fire, if we can spell, to create the spicy version. Let's see, how's that? spicy version with food and flames around it. So I love this idea of kind of like art directing while you go. Let's generate that one and see. We got our first video, so let's take a look and see what happened here. Oh, wow. I'm going to send this to them right away. Let's make this nice and big so you guys can see it. Let me get rid of this. We'll make it nice and big. All right, you guys ready for the premiere? Here we go. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, no way. Well, not from the nozzle, but it kind of got close. That first half, I would edit the second part out and just use that close-up. That was really cool. But again, that was done while we were just chilling here and checking out to see how it worked. So here we go. Let's see. It's still, let's see. Are we doing here? Transform. Oh, it's still going there. Let's have some fun with some other stills. I'm going to take this one here. Let's do this. And also, you know what I want to do while we're waiting? I've got this guy here. I haven't turntabled this guy yet. So let's try this out. I'm going to hit turntable. Whoops. Cancel here. And I think we should be getting a visit from Andrew any second now. Hopefully he should have an update on what he can tell us about. Okay, there we go. It's generating the turntable. I'm going to head back to here and see if we got our second video yet. Generate video. Let's see. Oh, it's giving it garlic inside. Let's take a look and see what it did here. All right, maybe it's going to transform into the other one. Let's see. Well, oh, peanut sauce. It put peanuts inside. Okay, let's play this video and see what happens. I'm a little scared. Oh, wow. Okay, so I would redo that and make sure it doesn't change the interior. Sometimes I think you've got to go through 1 or 2 rounds and see what it does and redirect it, go back to it, and you can make and edit this video. You can change it, and it will kind of keep the history of what you're doing there as well. Let's see how the turntable came out. Let's see. He's almost done. Let's check this out. Now, I haven't colored him yet. This is just him. So let's see how it works. Oh, yeah. Look at the backpack. It's so good. Wow. I love this. So now, we were talking earlier about how would we sell this in a little bit more if we had the tools of today. For sure, I would give them all these different angles of Bao that we had. And particularly if we had them colored, I would have done that as well. Now, don't forget, we can also turn him this way, and we can see all the different versions of him at different angles. And again, this is such a great upsell to have for any of your projects. But look how cool that version looks, which is really cool. And don't forget, when I hit Command Y, this is still true, all vector. Whatever pose you stop it in, you get that vector version of it right there. And I'll go back to Command Y, and we've got a whole new version of Bao, and we can give them a collection of these. And if they were colored, imagine that too. We can give them all those new features. A great way to upsell and make sure you are looking out for your client. So let's see, maybe we'll do something here. Let's see, question. I see this one here. What prompt is the best to prevent Firefly from scrambling text? Altering. Oh, yes. All right, cool. I found two tips that work great. Export whatever you're putting into there at the largest size you can. So if this is a Illustrator file or something that has, you're putting text in there, make sure your PNG or whatever you add to Firefly is of the highest resolution, so it's razor sharp and crisp, and that way it won't change it. I have put in a few times in a prompt, I'll put in quotations, do not alter or change any of the type here. If you don't get any good results or if it's still having an issue, I would kind of recommend looking through all the other different models. A lot of them are getting better and better as we speak using them. I know with the last Firefly 5, I think when we previewed that a few weeks ago, I couldn't believe how good the text was doing there as well. So good stuff there as well. I'm not sure if Andrew's joining us, and we might get cut off, but let's just keep going and having some fun. So let's try this guy here. I'm going to just let's try some presets. I'm curious to see if there's anything cool here we can do. We have product swap. We have, we can turn it into isometric 3D. Let's see, restyle, in the meadows, ink wash, outdoor. What if we cartoonified it? I've never done that before. Let's see what happens. I want to see. Generate. There we go. We're trying that one as well. What else can we do? I'm going to let that one go. We'll click on this. We'll go to presets. Let's see. Is there anything else that would be kind of fun to do? 3D illustration. That would be kind of cool. We have our product photo one we tried. Add to a scene. Oh, that's kind of cool. So maybe if we had a scene ready to go, we can try that. Loose sketch. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Did it give us an image yet on here? Oh, check that out. Let's see what it did. Not so much a illustration, but what did it do? Oh, actually just put it in a nice setting. That's kind of cool.
Hi, chat.
I'm digging that. Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up,
Welcome
everybody?
back.
I promise I'd jump back onto the end of the show. Hi.
Yes.
I've
What do
been
we
watching
got?
in the background. It looks great. Chat. Okay, I have secrets that I can't tell you till Friday. I'm sorry. We can't talk about our secrets till Friday, but follow Adobe Live. Follow me on social on Friday, and then we have some big things coming this weekend. Thanks for showing us your project, Nick. I love seeing like where you could have taken it with Firefly Awards.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like what the more I could have made
Yeah, right.
a year ago. But hey, imagine what a year from now is going to have.
Right. So come back next week, chat. We will have a recap of what's happening this weekend, and make sure that you watch the socials this Friday, and then tune into Adobe Live this Sunday, Mother's Day, May 10th, from 6:30 till 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. So no, Eastern time.
Eastern time.
That might give you a little
So
more of a clue.
3:30.
6:30 Eastern time to 9:30 Eastern time. Join Adobe Live. We will see you then. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.